"Where the fuck is Drake?" I shouted at the receptionist behind the desk. I was furious. I had just gotten word that my friend Drake Taylor was found in a catatonic state at his bedroom mirror today. So I made my way to the local hospital that Drake was admitted in to find out just what the hell had happened. Did he actually do it? That crazy motherfucker really tried to speak to it? I snapped back to the present after that small reflection, and I remembered my anger. This bitch at the desk was telling me I'm not allowed to see my injured friend. Well, I'm not having that. The lady at the desk spoke now. "Sir, please stop shouting." I saw the security guards flinch toward me, indicating imminent movement, so I backed down momentarily. The doctor came out in person. That's a shock. They actually came out in person right away for once. Apparently, my shouting at the receptionist summoned a doctor who was working on Drake. The doctor spoke to me and said, "I'm sorry, but Drake isn't allowed any visitors at this time. We've admitted him into the locked psychiatric ward for a short observational period. It shouldn't be more than a few days, but we have to play it safe because of the state we found him in. Now go home, get some rest. When we release him, we will tell him to get a hold of you. Would you like to leave us the name of his friend who came to check on him?" "Sure," I said. Stated my name, Damian Tyler, and I left the hospital. I wanted to get the hell out of there anyways. I hate those places. So I made my way back home. I kept rolling it around in my head. I remembered the past few months, the stories he had written, tracks he made, the experiences he shared with me, and his feelings. I chalked it all up to that's just my totally cool, crazy friend. That is, until I witnessed this phenomenon as well. The stranger's eyes in the mirror. I didn't obsess over it though. Sure, I was curious, but I decided I was happier not knowing. It's the way I am, happier not knowing everything, or pretending I don't know everything. Everybody is always telling me everything and I listen. I'm a sympathetic ear and an advisor, but afterward, I like to pretend I don't know. Sometimes people will pretend I don't know to spare me, I think. But sometimes they just can't help themselves, and they need to vent to me again. So then I become the shoulder to lean on, the second set of eyes to help you out once again. As was the norm, I was happier not to know about the very old and very sad eyes in the mirror. I blocked it out. I pretended that I did not see it and I went on about my life. But Drake kept bringing it up. It's like he fell under a spell from the ancient and tormented eyes. We're both witches. We're members of a coven, and we know this shit is real. We know it. It looked like Drake slowly slipped down a deep slope into a descent of madness. Madness. It was pure madness. What he was saying? I need to know what is aging those eyes. I need to know what is inside that mind. I need to know what is behind those eyes. I need to know what is inside that mind. He was becoming so messed up. But it wasn't really his fault. He was searching for help from the cosmos. He was searching for meaning in all of his misery. He's a very talented artist, and I like working on projects with him. He's so talented because he's so lost in the cosmos seeking help and salvation all the time. He says he gets inspired to become more talented in my presence, but I swear it's all him, it's just raw. It's right there, but it's just raw. But sometimes, it's so fierce and ferocious. But like I said, it's because he's always way out there. He is way out there. Over the next few days, I waited to hear from him. Finally, on the 5th day, he got a hold of me. I convinced him to come hang out for a bit, so he came over. When he arrived, I saw it. In his eyes, he was now much older and much, much sadder. He's seen a lot now, though. I won't ask him about it. If he can't take it, he'll vent to me. They always do. As we were hanging out, sometimes I would notice him becoming momentarily vacant. When I brought up a shared instance we had been in, he would respond like normal afterwards, but I kind of began to wonder if there was something wrong. But as I said, I prefer not to know things, unless I have to know it. Drake had burn marks on the middle of his forearms and wrists, and cut marks up and down his arms. Sometimes he would take extreme measures when spellcasting. I'd hope this was the case in this instance as well, because other explanations for it, they could be much worse. Something that I'm not equipped to deal with. We eventually parted for the day. Everything seemed fine, but I should have taken the hint. The flash of eyes I'd seen when he first arrived, and the other signs as well, but I didn't do that. I shook it off and pretended everything was normal, and went about my life. As Drake left, in his car window, I saw my own reflection, with the twisted sadness and aged-looking eyes. It's really not a physical malady in the reflection's eye. It's a certain sort of symbolic essence. I can't really explain it that well. They just seem to have seen so much more than you can even comprehend at the moment of a glance at one of them. In this fraction of a second glance at it, I also saw a flash. The flash I saw looked like Drake. Maybe it was a trick of the light or something, I remember thinking, but it stuck in my head. Over the past few days, I've done a lot of research. These are creatures. These things are called the doppelganger. They are a parallel version of ourselves, who prey on character flaws. They look sympathetic and intriguing from the mirrors, and you fall under their spell. Then they take you. They take your place, and they trap you in the reflection, and leave you there to die slow. When I learned of this, I went to Drake's house, and I killed that son of a bitch doppelganger in front of his mirror. When I saw what I had done, it looked back. But Drake suddenly appeared and slit my doppelganger's throat from its own world. Then he nodded at me, waved, and he disappeared with a flash. Being taken out of phase with his body on our Earth, and the death of his doppelganger killed my friend Drake. I killed my friend Drake. But he saved me with one final act from beyond the grave. So I now say farewell to my friend and leave all of you with this final warning. Mirrors are windows to other realms sometimes. You see them all the time. Anywhere there's a reflective surface, there's also a window. When you look at the reflection, and for a fraction of a second, something seems off, you're catching a glance into a window. The multiverse is infinite. When you look into a window, or out of a window, you just never know what is looking back.